Glad to know you're still with us. And right away, we're getting into the conversation for today. And before then, let me just get you into the mood or the spirit of the conversation. Now, most children are healthy, and then some may ask, why is it important for children to have access to healthcare? In fact, despite relatively good health, children do need access to regular health care as well as access to special services. For parents, whether employed or full-time mom, every parent wants to ensure his or her child is in a safe, caring and stimulating environment. And today we have in the studio an experienced mom, Queen Wabreze. She's the content lead, web-wide writers. Good to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Queen. You're welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Believe it or not, you look like a queen.
Thank
you. All right, so today we are looking at health care for children. We're looking at taking care of children. Yes. And that's because we know that children do need extra care. They do. You know, we can't just leave them to themselves or all by themselves. We need to take very good care of them.
Yes.
And, you know, if we're even going to start from maybe while they're still very young, we would see that there are certain steps we're supposed to take as adults or caregivers to ensure that these children, first, are safe, and two, even when they get in contact with things that could probably harm them, there is immediate what do we call it now? There's immediate intervention to ensure that they are well. So, so for you now, as an experienced mom, what are the things you think would necessitate the fact that parents need to care more for their children?
Parents, indeed, mothers especially, need to care for their kids. There is no overemphasizing the fact that is the reality, at least of our own world. I had to resign actually from my well-paying job just to go into parenting. Yeah, that is to tell you how mighty the role is.
What happened? Was it that you didn't have the time, or I mean, why did you choose that route?
I didn't have the time. I actually wanted to merge them. I wanted it to go hand by hand simultaneously, but it just couldn't work. It just couldn't work. So I had to resign just because I needed to give top-notch care to those 3 kids of mine. And by the grace of God, each time we step out of the public today, people actually commend me for it. You're cute. Oh, they look cute. So that's actually my own glory, my own credit for having to resign from a web-paid job. So really, the health of the child is everywhere demanding. You have to be there. If you are not there, things will definitely go wrong. It is not to leave it in the hands of nannies, leave it in the hands of I don't know, but you can't leave it in the hands of helps. In the hands of helps, they can't do the job like you would. So, indeed, just indeed, you are needed at home as a mother.
You resigned from a well-paid job.
Yes.
In order to have all your time dedicated to taking care of the children.
That's right.
You did this probably because your husband is earning enough to take care of the family. What do you have to tell those of them there who, for instance, earn more than their husbands?
I'm going to shock you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Actually, my husband is dependent on the contract kind of jobs.
The gig economy.
But guess what? Immediately we faced family, jobs stopped coming. Yes.
What happened?
I wouldn't know if there's this enmity between family and good care. But almost immediately we said we're going to be doing this. Jobs stopped coming from him for him. As a matter of fact, that was even when I put on my thinking cap and went into entrepreneurship. I floated the web-wide writers writing outfit, actually. So to enable me to work from home, that is exactly what I did. So I still didn't want to get another job. I wanted to just be around the house. I needed something that would just keep me around the house while I take care of the kids. Because that's actually how they are getting the top-notch care that people think that they look cute for. So I had to. So, okay, can we do something? What can you do? Okay, you go into information marketing. And they started writing a book. So we just thought about what can we do at home
So this puts this reminds one of the question. You know, there is always this question as to between career and family.
Yes.
Which one should be considered more important?
Family. Family,
especially in view of the fact that things, economically speaking, now things are really, really difficult.
Bad. Family, I insist. I'm sorry.
Right.
Family.
Please expatiate. Let's hear more. What's the reason?
If you go to your work, if you were paid, I don't know, the millions, the 6 figures, where will you come back to? After the day's work, you come back to family. So if you leave it unattended to, you come back to meet a disjointed family. You don't want to finish working at the end of the day and you stay back in the office. No, you don't want that. So it is family. If you've not set that record straight right at that front, then you're missing it all. So family for me, that's why I told you that we had to start thinking outside, or even break the box this time around, to think, to say, what are we going to do so that we don't leave the comfort of this home?
I'm interested in that decision. What necessitated that decision? Was there an experience?
The kids.
I know it's the kids, but was it just out of the blues, or you just thought about, was it that there was something that happened and you took stock and you thought to yourself, you know, this happened because I don't have time for my children? Was it something like that? How did it, I want to understand that.
Okay, thanks. When I got, when I gave birth to the first one, we went for a nanny, but it was actually a little girl of about 15 years. So the parents said, you're going to take her to school. I said, no problem. But she's a good caregiver. And I said, that's why I'm taking her. So we brought her in. Then there's this meeting I had with a client. My husband also had one that he had to leave the house. So we both left at the same time. Do you know that before we could come back, our son has this swollenness on the balls. Permit me. We didn't know what caused it.
It didn't happen earlier?
No.
Like before you left the house?
Not at all.
Everything was okay?
Very much okay. He was just crying, crawling in pain, and all. And how did we even notice it? When we were bathing him, we noticed that each time your hand went around there to do some wash, he growls. And then we said, no, what happened? And then we called her, questioned her really deeply. At first she denied it, and then we continued, we persisted. And then she confessed to the fact that yeah, she toyed with that part of his body. I said, okay, what were you actually doing?
15-year-old.
Yes. What are you doing? So I was trying to check something.
Check what?
So, really?
She was trying to satisfy her curiosity.
That was just it. You know, she's also a child. She's a preteen. At least she's not an adult. So that was actually what necessitated it. I told my husband, you see, we're right after all. We shouldn't leave the house. As a matter of fact, what we started advocating is, if you know that at the end of the day, you'll be doing family, please get a business. Don't do the 9 to 5. If you get a business that you are the boss, that you determine when you leave the house and all, it will help you a great deal in looking after these kids so they can be. Yes.
Okay, don't you think there are other ways we can manage that? For example, you really have to be at work. You're not the one who is inclined to entrepreneurship. And then probably, I have a relative who does that. She has a nanny, she has a help, and then she has CCTV all over the house.
And then
she's
able to pay for it.
She lives in an estate where an instruction has been given to the people there. Nobody goes out with any of my, beg your pardon, with any of my children. Nobody, I mean, there is an instruction, all of that given already. So if you have a situation like that, do you think you still need to leave your job or something?
She has systems in place. Not all of us are privileged.
That's very true.
I want to say it's a privilege. I don't have that privilege. Maybe you don't, but she does. So she has systems in place. If you're able to put systems in place, so why not go to your 9 to 5? But if you can't, if you know you can't, your husband can't, please try as much as you can to do something that will still make you hover around the house at least.
All right, thank you so much for that. Now, very quickly, this topic is about, it's a good thing we delved into all of that, but this topic is really about quality health care for children. So, what are the things we're supposed to do to take care of our children, to mind, you know, their health and all?
I am not a health expert, so I'm going to be speaking from being a mom.
Definitely.
Okay. I have 3 kids, First, Darling, and Shine. I actually took care from the beginning, from the cradle of their lives. I did. I didn't have a mom to help out, unfortunately, or should I say fortunately now, because that's also what has given me the clout to go around and say that this is actually possible. Okay, so yeah, I started from their infancy, still because I was around, because I was at home. If I were engaged outside, of course, I know I wouldn't have been able to do that. So, from the cradle, breastfeeding, for instance, is a beautiful one. I'm not a lactation consultant to tell you that, see, what are the, but here I am as an experienced person talking about this topic. You see, breastfeeding, if you want to start strong and finish strong in your child, please breastfeed, and breastfeed very well. It was a first-hand experience. So I discovered that because I breastfed them all very well, they hardly took ill. I discovered that.
So what do you have to say about what is it now? The food.
Yes,
okay.
the formula.
Food and all that, meant
The
for,
supplements.
specifically meant for babies.
Fine. But at least when you pick up any of the things, you see what they say.
Disclaimer.
There's this caveat there,
Okay.
that breastfeeding remains the best.
Okay.
I experienced it firsthand.
Just like they say, smoking is dangerous, yet people smoke.
That is just it.
Now tell me, you've been talking about you
Yes.
all the way.
Okay.
It's like one way.
Okay.
What's the role of the father in all of this?